So I like easy maintenance. I'm a big fan of easy maintenance. Probably why I like these square bodies so much. So to make it even easier maintenance on any lifted, I don't know if you've ever been on a lifted truck, you end up spending a ton of time on something like that. Look at how worn out just the time I've had this vehicle. Look at how worn out this chair has become. Just from how much times I've had to use it, bent over these fenders to work on this thing. Okay, so with that in mind, I had to come up with a better plan because I'm not a fan of that. I'm a fan of sitting on this little tire right here and working on the truck. A lot easier. So in order to do that, everything had to come off the fenders that was on the fenders, the inner fenders. Everything had to come off the inner fenders and go up on the core support. So I just made this little bracket, whatever the heck you want to call it. I used my old battery tray. Okay, I just cut it out just from junk I had lying around. I used the strap here, which is going over to this factory hole here. Not an issue. Hood's going to close easy. And crazy strong. Not going anywhere. Unless the core support down breaks in half or something. But the core support don't look terrible to me. It's what it is. I needed an overflow. I had a bottle and a hose. So yeah, I got an overflow. Simple as that. This one is pulling it that way. This one is pulling it this way. It's getting just a bit squeezed. Not going anywhere. Maybe I'll put a piece of tape on it for extra thing. She's just hanging out the bottom now. I got like 2 things hanging out, but it ain't going anywhere. If I really yanked on it, maybe I'd be able to get it out. But here, I'm yanking on it. It's not going anywhere. Even then, it'll fix itself. There you go. So that's good. This side, I had to get a little bit creative too. I wanted to keep this because it has the motor in it. I don't know if you can see it there. And you can never see it. Anyway, there's a motor right here, which is my washer motor. And this isn't leaking. If it was leaking, I would care. It's holding fluid. So I extended this hose, which goes to there. And then I extended this wiring a little bit. Made it look all pretty. And then I went to put it up here. I was just going to... I got 2 bolts that are holding it. That one and that one. And I just used that as a template. I threw it up there. And then I realized it's going to be a pain in the butt to fill. So I grabbed a 2x4 and used that as a spacer. And it's just bolted right along with the rest of it. A little bit longer bolts. And yeah, she works. Easy to fill. Right through the top. Close. She ain't going anywhere. Once again, that's bolted to the core support. And yeah, did all my wiring. I had a lot of little ones left over, so I was like, what the heck, I'll make it look a little bit pretty. Yep. So none of this can rub. Nothing can rub on here or up here. Little kitty wampus up here, but it's all cleaned up. So yeah, all those spark plug wires are cleaned up. Nothing's going to rub or get burnt. Any areas that are close to being burnt, there's like a 1/4 of an inch there, but you can't really see it unless I manage to get a shot in there. But there's like 1/4 inch there. I wouldn't mind putting another zip tie right here, cleaning that up just a touch. But anything that can rub has been covered in this little heat shield stuff. Anywhere it's going to rub, it'll rub. But it's meant for that heat shield stuff. Wires all the way up. They're all pretty. Nothing is hitting each other. It's what it is. Simple as that. I thought my ground just broke. Alright. I love these little things. Absolutely love them. It's like my 4th or 5th set. I love them. They just make maintenance so much easier. I've never had a thing where I've not disconnected a battery because they were just a nightmare to remove, or it was a pain to take the thing off, or I was worried about stripping out the threads in the battery itself. So this eliminates all that. You want to do some maintenance? Disconnected? Actually. Anyway, disconnected there. So there you are, disconnected. Pop back on. Put it around. Of course it would make it so that it's a pain to do one-handed. And boom. Happy day. There we are. This is just going to my radio. I just have it ran to my radio, and it's also, if I ever want to add any accessories, I can run off that wire. So this is just a 30 amp wire Amazon fuse. So apparently these Amazon fuses are good for 60 amps or something. So whatever. I just have this ran. Simple as that. And then this is actually another little nice feature. Gives me an extra bolt to attach this to, so that I can easily pull that. There goes the fuse. Pull that out. I'll fix that later. Yeah, just cleaning stuff up. Obviously, if you need to do this, you got to keep the hood up somehow. How am I keeping the hood up? Magic. I'm cool like that. Anyway, I got a strap to the hood latch. Okay, simple as that. You gotta do this before you take this off. Before you take these off, you gotta make sure your hood's up where it should be. There's a reason for that. And then you just go over top your cab and then down to your truck box or somewhere on the bed where you can hook a thing. The most important thing is you gotta make sure your straps are, nothing's metal. You can't have metal touching metal. So you just gotta have your straps just above the cab. And once you're done, you can clean it up. Or in this case, not, because it's a rusted pile. But yeah, and then that makes the hood fixed where when you go to put these back, even if they're the ones with the big old springs, all you have to do is somewhat line it up, give it maybe just a little push, and your bolts will almost always line up perfect. Almost always. You're not just going around fixing any of this. You don't even need a second helper to do this. If you do it right, you can do it by yourself. I did this by myself. You just put your hood up, get your ratchet strap on, and then once you have that, you could take off these and take off your fenders and everything else. But the big thing is once you do that, don't lose this ratchet strap, because your hood will come down and hit you on the head or something. I've never had it happen, ever. It's never happened more than 3 times. But yeah, keep that ratchet strap. Make sure it's hooked in there so it's not going to come out and hit you on the head. So yeah, like I'm saying, the plan is to be able to pull these fenders out, and then the inner fenders, or the inner fenders with the fenders. That's what I'm doing next. I got to figure that out. I'm going plastic. I just don't exactly know how I'm doing it. At this point, I didn't know how I was doing this battery tray. It's something I had to figure out. That's what I spent today doing, figuring it out. And then I'm going to figure out these inner fenders. And then I'll be able to pull these bolts, these 8 bolts, and pull everything out and make maintenance so much more fun. And if you make maintenance fun, automakers, you listening? If you make maintenance fun, you do it more often, and things last longer. Anyway, there we go. A little update. Yeah. So, is what it is. I gotta clean everything up. I gotta play around with these new fenders. I did lose my radio antenna on these new ones. I don't have a radio antenna. There's my hole for this. I have no hole. So I'm not going to make a hole. I'm just going to run an antenna and sneak it behind the dash. And that way I have one more hole. Stay there. I have one more hole I can fill with silicone. So yeah, I had to make this hole. Previously, the wire was ran through here. This little red and black wire was ran through here. And I had my antenna going through here. And simple fact is, going to silicone it. I'm going to put a piece of Gorilla Tape over it because it's so low, who cares? And voila, it's fixed. I don't have to worry about any cold getting in. And then right here, I'm just going to silicone it on both sides, and that'll keep the wires from rubbing. And like I'm saying, if they do rub, this fuse will blow. Not how I wanted to do it, what I am doing. Yeah, little update is what it is. She's getting closer. Yep. Thank you.